We will call the order at 5:09. Oh, sorry. Don't please, don't worry about it. We're good. Traffic in Farmington, that's the first record. It should be at all times of the day now. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but all right. So can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right, we'll go right on to item C, which is public comment. So we always obviously have two opportunities, both in person and virtual public comment. We do not have anybody with us this evening in person. So we will open it up for public comment online. And Devin has the directions obviously up front on the screen. So if you're interested in delivering public comment, I don't know if there's anybody in this.
I think that's Chris.
Yeah, Chris. So I think that's it, right? All right, doesn't look like we have anybody virtually either. So we'll go right on to meeting minutes. So can I get a motion to approve the attached May 17, 2023 minutes? Second. Any discussion? Right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Item E is correspondence received 5/16/2023 to 6/19/2023. So we do have two pieces of correspondence from Catherine Zelko included in our packet. There has been a response drafted and has been sent out in giving more detail around the specific questions. That will obviously be included in the minutes that go out following the meeting, so you can get the additional updates on that. I also take the opportunity here to mention that we have the contact form on our website. So please, for any community members that are interested in asking questions, finding out additional information, please take the opportunity to use that contact form, and we'll certainly get an answer to you as soon as we can. All right, we'll move right on to reports. First up is chair report. So I just wanted to provide a brief statement. So as I'm sure everyone is aware, on May 25th, an iron worker fell at approximately 7:25 a.m. at the construction site. Just wanted to take this opportunity to send our well wishes. And I assume I'm saying that on behalf of the entire committee as well. To the worker who is at home recovering. And certainly a thank you to the first responders who are on the scene within minutes. OSHA was notified immediately, and a full report of their investigation is expected within 6 months. Just wanted to make sure we provided that information. I don't have anything else additional in the chair report, so we will go right on to town council liaison report, which I believe we do not have anybody with us this evening for that. So we'll move on to Board of Education liaison report.
No, we're done for the school year, so our regular board meetings won't pick up until September. We'll have some committee meetings going forward over the summer, but we should be a little less busy.
Okay, excellent. All right, any questions for Sarah? All right, let's go on to report number 4, 1928 Building Committee liaison report, Chris.
Yeah, not much to report substantively. The last meeting, we set our schedule up for the near upcoming future. We authorized Kathy to proceed with signing a contract with Silver Petrocelli for services moving forward from design development through construction closeout. And that's about it. We'll be taking up more activity as we go forward.
Any questions for Chris? All right, we will go right on to owner's rep report.
Okay, so just tagging on to the 1928 building, we have set up a meeting for this week with the 1928 building team and our team to kind of coordinate interview scope of each project and make sure there's no overlap between the two projects. So that will be going on this week. We've been continuing with furniture and technology meetings. We've been meeting weekly with the superintendents to review different furniture options, what they prefer. If they made more decisions on what type of furniture that they would like. We haven't had one this week and we won't have one next week, but next week we do have a technology meeting. And then after next week, the furniture meetings will pick up again. And then TSKP will begin to write specifications and get ready to put the furniture package out to bid for the high school. And then the technology package will follow for both the high school and the central office. The furniture for the central office is kind of dependent on the layout, which we're still working through. So once that gets confirmed, then we'll start making those decisions on the furniture. In addition to that, we put a schedule together for FF&E technology to make sure that we're staying on track with things that need to go into the state. And making sure that we're on track to put it out to bid in the fall. We continue with our professional team meetings every week between us, TSKP and O&G. We review RFIs, submittals, change orders, and any other project related issues that we may have. We received the second state change order, which is in for signature with the town. So once we get that, we'll go ahead and submit that to the state. In terms of state invoicing, we've been prepping the next payment to this or payment request to the state. We just haven't received the last one yet. So once we receive the last one, then we can submit the next one. So we're just waiting on confirmation that the towns received that. And then the last thing is I attended a staff meeting with some of the department heads from the high school to review group management and to kind of set expectations on how moving from the old high school to the new high school will work next year. Very preliminary meeting, but it was good, to get feedback and answer questions for people. So it's not so much of a surprise when we get to that point next year. And that's all I have.
Right. Any questions for Sam? All right, we'll go right on to architect report.
Great, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone. I'll start, and then if I forget anything, Mike will certainly jump in. It's just us guys this evening. Archana is not here. She's actually on her way to the airport. She's going back to India to visit with family for a couple of weeks. So we're covering her in her absence. Those of you who know Archana know that she's extremely well organized, very responsive, and handles a lot of information. And in a project such as this, there is a lot of information. But I think we have a good team with everyone involved. I think managing information in a project like this is key. And ONG does a very good job at every job meeting. We know the status of information that's necessary, and so we try to support that very quickly. Right now you are at about the 27-28% completion stage, and that is reflected in ONG's reports in their requisition, which is consistent with that same percentage. As in any project, changes are inevitable, and we've been managing those changes that come from different sources. For example, the 1928 building has had an impact on the project, and we're trying to come up with the scope of the site changes that we need to accommodate to make way for the 1928 building, which is anticipating relocating tennis courts, for example. So we're going to continue the discussions with CSG so that we can then finalize the site changes that ONG can price and put that to bed. Another example of a change is when we saw the mock-up of a typical classroom. So by mock-up, I mean that ONG had their subcontractors, specifically the electricians and data line installers, locate where the boxes were in the typical classroom layout. And we walked the site, and Sam Kilpatrick was there, as well as Matt Ross. And we talked about how does this room function. I know Matt wants to go to a bigger screen, a bigger monitor, which is going to be part of the a technology equipment package, but that takes up a little bit more room in width than the previously anticipated screen size. I know that Matt wants to have a space where he can install a fold-up shelf, for example. So all of that was laid out in the room and we walked it together. So there may be some changes as a consequence of that. For example, the whiteboards, which were originally 8 foot, will have to go to 6 feet to accommodate changes in the shelf location and in the larger monitor, for example. So we're going to be issuing those diagrams to ONG. I promise we're going to issue those diagrams to you tomorrow. And as Sam indicated, we're having ongoing work with FF&E and technology. So back when the Board of Ed reconvenes in September, you should expect to see us to review those packages before we go on to bid. They have to go to the state for review and approval. That requires your signature, and then we'll go to the state. I got to tell you, you are a lucky group of people. You took on a controversial project. You overwhelmingly succeeded in the referendum, not once but twice. And you picked a good team to deliver the building, and it's on track. We're seeing incredible spikes in construction costs now. We've had some recent bid openings that everyone is flabbergasted by the lack of interest. Yeah, I guess some people are busy or they've left town. I'm not sure what, but fewer people are showing up and placing bids. And the bids that we see opened, we had a bid opening today, are stunning. So the timing was good on this project. So from the architect standpoint, TSKP Studio, we're very pleased with this project. Anything you want to add, Michael?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the update. All right, any other?
We're gonna take note of how they look today and how they look in 2 weeks, filling in for their.
It's under control.
All right, any questions? For Tiffany, anything else additional? All right, excellent, thank you very much. All right, so we will go to construction manager report.
I'll be quick. I'll just give a quick summary of what's taking place. Then I'll share a few photos. In my report, I typically put 3 to 4 photo shots. And that one that you see right now was taken 2 weeks ago, and actually June 5th. And right now we're putting insulation boards. So now the building is, first it was green, then it turned to blue. Now it's turning to gray, and then in a few weeks it will be red. So, and the red is the brick. Precast is showing up next week, which is that starter course where we'll be able to start the brick. The ground face CMU for that stair tower to the left showed up this morning. We have hydro scaffolding, which you don't see it in this picture, but that's the scaffolding that the mason works off of. They just erected the scaffolding in stair 1 tower. So that classroom on the outside is coming along, and on the inside we're doing mechanicals, electrical. The walls are already fully framed. We're putting in door frames. The building has been fully dried with roof drains fully connected. So we're doing all the insulation on the ductwork. We did pressure testing last week on the ductwork with commissioning agent. We verified it, and everything passed. So we're proceeding. Building B is a little bit behind, not behind schedule, but within the schedule. It's has less in there, but it's also being rough framed inside. The ductwork is being installed in the building B pod. Building C, the fireproofer is wrapping up with the spray fireproofing on the structural steel. You want to go to the next photo. So those are the interior walls. You can see the sprinkler lines, the mechanical lines are partially insulated. That's on the first floor of area A. To the left is an electrical, both electrical rooms, and on each floor, the electrical rooms stack on one another. So that's one of the corridors. Go to the next floor. That's area B. 2 weeks ago, now we have it fully sheathed with the green board. So to the left, you see the setup for the spray fireproofing. So they're fully finished in B, and they're proceeding in C. And next one. Gymnasium. So right there, you see the sunlight coming through the acoustical deck. The insulation has been installed on the ribs, and the roof is about 3/4 of the way roofed in. So today's shot, you basically don't see that sunlight coming in. But Taisu walking the space yesterday, he showed up around 4 o'clock, and he was impressed with the space. He's already designed the school previously, but your school is slightly different than Guilford and Middletown, and it's just this space, and I don't have a shot of the cafeteria where the sawtooth skylights are they're doing the welding now, the connection, but the majority of that skylight is in. It's just a great space, and you'll actually be able to see the 1928 cupola in certain parts of that cafeteria, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it was planned, but
Well, we pointed it out to our tour last time, you know, you prompted me to say, oh, this was part of the plan. Just say that's right.
And I don't have a shot here of is there one more shot? So this is actually 2 weeks ago, there wasn't this sawtooth skylight, so now this area, you have that sawtooth. Next month, I'll share those photos. Farther into the photo, that's your auditorium area, so it's fully decked now. They'll start the roofing on that soon. Inside, the slab on grade, or the slab on grade and the slab on deck have been placed. The windows will start on the month of July. We'll start installing the windows in area A and B, and the storefronts are also they're going to be billing for some of that material, offsite stored material, and that's how we avoid supply chain. If they have the material, they could bill it with the proper forms in insurance. So you'll physically start seeing windows installation next month. We have closed off the pathway for the neighborhoods for Crestwood and Briarwood. We posted signs, we communicated it out because we're now doing the north parking lot. We're doing the curbing in that area. So that parking lot will be established for construction workers for the start of the school year. Then we'll continue in the fall. We'll build the parking lot area, the bus drop off, student drop off area where it's where your old tennis courts were located. We'll do that over the fall. So there will be some site work, but primarily the fall after the summer, it's going to be mostly interior work on the building. Did I miss? So Connecticut Water and CMG have started their summer work. Parking lot, if you drive in anytime during the summer, you're ripping it up to complete the utilities to connect the water and doing the power up Monteith. We haven't done that yet, but that's going to start next week with the widening of Monteith, the curbs, sidewalks, and with that, the utility work, the Eversource change order that was approved previously, that work will take place so that we have power up the rooftop units in the fall, because to install casework to acclimate the building. So we'll towards the end of the year, we'll have it powered under temporary power. The transformer was delivered, so that was installed, and they're working on the boiler room utilities as well. Coordination, we're wrapping up all areas A through E. We did hold off on area F, which is central office, for the request from the school and the design team that there's going to be some slight layout changes in central office heading F, F, and E. So it really doesn't impact the schedule. So we told the grades that coordination for area F will take place in September, allowing enough time to, for the design team and also the school to figure out the exact layout. We've been working with PSKD. They've been working with us on RFI responses, and hopefully we'll be wrapping up the signal process sometime during the summer. And also CSG's been running professional partners meetings, which have benefited the project, and we meet every Thursday with the design team and CSG. And probably went a little bit longer than we normally do. So we did provide a drone shot. We did share it with the communications committee, but if this is on the school's website now, the building committee website. So it's just a brief 1 minute drone video, which gives you your bird's eye view of the project. And we'll do this video. We'll bring our drone guy back at the end of summer so that you can actually see the difference. And we have him also fully map the site as well. But it was a beautiful day, and it was actually the day after graduation, because on the far right you'll see the seating that was put on the football field. So it was the day after graduation last week. So the building is half, building B was half sheet with a green board, and this week it's done. And now they're doing the blue skin. Questions?
Thank you. Nelson? All right, excellent, thank you very much. All right, we'll go right on to communications subcommittee report. So we did have a communications subcommittee meeting just prior to this meeting tonight. We had a couple things on our agenda. One, actually, you just did see, we went, did a quick update of the website update. So now we have that drone footage that's prominently displayed, which is nice, right on the homepage, as well as an update on the topping off and some additional pictures. And we're still doing the carousel of pictures as well. So there it is, good source of information in place to direct people, especially for building committee members. Specifically, if they want some more information about the project to date. One of the things we did talk about that I want to make sure I talk to the building committee about is we really want to start putting some thought into a more enhanced Q&A off of the homepage, specific to what we might be hearing from the community during this construction phase. So I'm asking for any kind of feedback from building committee members. If there is specific questions you are hearing or things that you are getting asked more frequently than others, if you could take that information and get it over to Kat prior to our next communications meeting. That's something we're going to spend some time on as a subcommittee, and we'll improve those Q&A opportunities and see if maybe we can curate a list that makes sense for the community. We'll keep enhancing that, but I think it's good for all of us to kind of keep our ear open and see if there's anything specific we need to address for the community. So that's going to be on our agenda for the next meeting. So that is an ask that I do have of the building committee members, or anybody that's obviously a resident as well, or that might be hearing anything. Any of that feedback is beneficial for us. So we will continue on that. Also, in addition, we talked about doing another update out to the surrounding neighborhood. So we do have a dedicated webpage on the site specific for the neighborhood. We also have targeted communication lists. So Devin has here, you can see there's the page on the website. So now we are looking to do an additional update for them. So that was summer of 2022. We're doing summer of 2023. as you can see, that was approved by the subcommittee, so we will make that update. It's just making sure that the neighborhood is aware of and just the current status of the project as well as things they should be aware of that are coming up. And it also has contact information directly on there if they should have any questions. So we'll continue with that communication and tie that into anything on social media or anything else we need to do as far as the updates are concerned. We did do a quick update as well on our newsletter cadence and the schedule we're going to follow there. Nothing immediate on that, but we're starting to think about what maybe fall might look like for communications. And believe it or not, we actually started a conversation on when do we really start digging into the ribbon cutting ceremonies. So what does that mean? What's included? How do we want to schedule that? What does it look like? So we asked our professional partners to kind of come forward to us with kind of, best practices, things you've seen that work, just like we did for the topping off as well. So we're just start those conversations so that we can get everything lined up appropriately. And then last, we did also talk about potentially coming up with maybe a quick visual project status that might be helpful to the community as well. We don't know what that's going to look like yet. We're going to come to our next meeting with some ideas of some things that maybe have worked. And all of us kind of coming to the table with that and see if there's something we can put together that's just a quick snapshot, very visual, very, very high level. And then obviously being able to link out to additional detail if somebody's interested. So just trying to give people an opportunity to learn more if they want to, but also to have it be quick, easy on that homepage. We did look at stats and it is the homepage is it. That's where people go for their information, which makes complete and total sense. So let's try to make it as easy as possible. Did I miss anything? All right, any questions on communications? All right, well, financial subcommittee report. Obviously, we did have our standard subcommittee, financial subcommittee meeting last Friday in preparation for this meeting. So the financial subcommittee did do a review of the invoices that you see in the packet. We kind of did a thorough evaluation of what was included, and always remember these have been reviewed by many people prior to even coming to the financial subcommittee. But that meeting did occur. We did our standard evaluation of kind of where we are. The budget is from an expense for what we're spending for each of these meetings on a monthly basis. So we did that quick overview, and I think that was it. It was pretty short meeting, right?
Pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah.
Having change orders to review, so.
Yeah, so we did a quick kind of overview of, some additional documentation you guys are going to provide moving forward on that on the status, but nothing else for change orders for that meeting or that will present. So,
Correct.
any questions on that? All right, number 10, financial report.
So you have a financial report at your spot. Just two new line items that came through related to the topping off ceremony. One is $134 and that's for the CERT truck and supplies. So really excellent job by the CERT team members. We were really appreciative of them to help out. And I think it was very well received with the breakfast sandwiches. So again, thank you to them. And pretty affordable.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
And then it's that time of the year where our website renews. And if you remember back in 2019, we actually purchased 3 domain names. So we are everydaybuildingproject.org, .net, and .com. That's the cost of those. And that's all I have. So total on hand from this account, $64,678.74.
All right. Any questions for Kat on that? All right, excellent. Thank you very much. So that is the end of reports. So we will move right on to new business. So item P1. Could I get a motion to approve the following invoice backs for Farmington Central officers stated in the agenda? Second. Yes, second. All right, we'll open this up for discussion. Standard invoice for us. I don't think there's anything in addition we need to do from a detail on that. Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Move right on to item G2. So can I get a motion to approve the following invoice package for Farmington High School as stated in the agenda?
Motion.
I was gonna see if Suraj wanted to second.
Second.
Oh, so bad. All right. All right, so we will open this one up for discussion. Because for these, really quickly, and then I think there's some that need to go into detail.
Yeah, so, ours is just our standard monthly invoice, what the amount that we bill every month. ONG could probably talk into a little bit more detail about theirs, but, and TSKP as well, but TSKP is their standard monthly invoice as well. And then IES and IMTL. IES is our commissioning agent, so they come on the site and verify things like ductwork, like Nelson was talking about before, and building envelope items, and IMTL is our materials testing agent who comes out, and does. But then I don't know if TCP or ONG has anything to add about their invoices as well.
I could just quickly give a brief summary of, so the application for payment every month we'll send a pencil copy. The pencil copy was, about $8.5 million. SKP does their review. I do my review. CSP also does their review. I incorporate it into our system. And, so, the final comes to $7,572,000. It's been fully vetted and, it's roughly about 29% of the construction project, which is pretty accurate to where we're at. Billing sometimes doesn't correlate with actual, the actual, excuse me, the working place. Because billing can lag, and sometimes there's off-site stored material, so that it's physically not installed, such as the electrician. There's a lot of conic boxes out there, storage boxes that have poke-throughs, light fixtures, not light fixtures, excuse me, light fixtures, but it has the electrical panels, has conduit, plumbing, the exhaust fans are on site. They're actually installed now in area A and B. So there's any specific questions on the payment application, but I run through this application with sub-finance detail to answer any questions. And the application, this is a truncated version. The application is about 150 pages.
We want to save some trees.
Exactly.
I would like to add that the team is, there's not very much of a break, there's not much of a break at all in between invoicing, right? So just as we're getting through this approval process, they're already starting the process next month, because if you think about backing out to the review period, the pencil rec, the time for the professional team to meet, then gets presented to the finance committee for their review. Then if there's any revisions, that has to get done all before it makes the agenda 2 days before this meeting, right? So there's a lot that goes into processing this. We've decided that we'll dedicate our professional team meeting once a month. As we're getting more and more trades involved, there's more and more review. It's, getting longer and longer. We decided as a professional team, we'd come together and review that requisition instead of just kind of tossing it back over the ACANX wall, if you will, with our comments back and forth. And we think that that's going to help us streamline the process and confirm what's on and what's off and answer it, because we always have questions about the right. So we're going to give that our try next month's presentation.
And to that, but if this was included, that's the chart that we're referring
Yeah,
to.
Devin, you want to?
Visual perspective. It's just a nice little view to kind of show us as a committee, a nice, easy, very easy view of actual the budget. So you can see where we're tracking. So,
The black line is what we had put together as sort of a cash flow projection over the course of the project. So what we anticipated would be required based on anticipated invoices. You can see we're starting to climb up a little bit. We had a spike this month. Nelson made a good point to the building committee that there's about $1 million in the requisition for insurances that were added to that requisition. So that kind of spiked up for good shoots, but we are still well below our projected cash flows. So we're doing well.
right, anybody have any questions or any more detail on G2?
Could this be something we could put up on the?
That's one of the ones we were talking about potentially. I think we probably have to put some context around it. So I think maybe let's put that out on the table when we come back to the communications committee next week and say, here's one view. And what does that mean and how's that going to be represented? Yeah. All right, any other questions or thoughts? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, we have one final item, which is G3. So after much deliberation, can I get a motion to cancel the July 5th? Motion, everybody. Sorry. Obviously, I figured, well, this is also following our pattern. We're keeping these on the calendar monthly. We have two, remember, just in case, which I think is good practice for us, just in case we need any immediate action, but anybody have any questions or additional thoughts on that before we go? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. So item H, any other business, anything else in addition? All right, can I get a motion to adjourn, please? Motion, second. All right, all in favor? All right, we will adjourn at 5:47 this evening.